Hey guys, this is Sound13mm, welcoming you to, I guess you could call it a new series. Anyway, this is gonna be like my deck profiles of my decks and whatnot. I don't really care what deck it is, it's just deck profiles. So yeah, and we have 3 custom decks, well, 2 of them are. I'm not saying that all 3 of them are custom, but anyway, I'd like to apologize for not really uploading. It's because my previous tripod, which I was going to use for Rise of Nehemiah, kind of died, essentially. Like, I wouldn't say dead, but basically, it, kind of, well, it didn't really become a tripod anymore. Kind of just lost its touch or whatever. Anyway, we're going to get started. I'm going to do this, like, monster order. So we have 3 copies of the Thunderbird. Now, basically what this thing does, you know the Blizzard Thunderbird from the Water Wing Beast archetype that Marin/Rio uses from Zexal? Basically what it does, you discard, and then you inflict 500 for every Barian Chaos monster on your field, including itself. And then we have... I should just be taking them out of, like, their thing, but I'm not going to. I believe I have 3 Huntsmen. Now, basically what he does, he's basically your reviver of this deck. So it says he's a warrior with 1700 attack, 1500 defense. I don't think I'm gonna go over the stats. I'm just gonna say how many of each card I have. And basically what he does, I can revive a Barian Chaos monster from my graveyard once per turn. And now on to 2 copies of the Witch. Please ignore the disturbing picture. You cannot see it clearly, then that's good for you. If you can, that's sad. It's a spellcaster. When this card is destroyed, either by battle or by card effect, you can activate one of the following effects when it's destroyed. One of them is that you can add 1 Barian Chaos card from your deck to your hand. You can special summon 1 Barian Chaos monster from your deck or graveyard, except itself. And then we have 3 Barian Chaos Sages. Now this guy's the searcher of the deck. Basically, I discard a Barian Chaos card. It could be a monster or like any other card that's Barian Chaos. And then I can special summon another Barian Chaos monster from my hand, deck, or graveyard. Mostly it's going to be from the deck or graveyard, obviously, because I don't know why you would ditch the special whatever. Then I have 2 Swordsmans. Basically what this guy does is that when he's sent to the graveyard, doesn't matter if he's destroyed, tributed, and it does have water on it, so that's kind of... and it has jelly, of course. Or some card does, I don't know what it is. You can add 1 Barian Chaos card from your deck or graveyard to your hand, so it's basically your reviver of, like, it's your recycler, essentially. And the shield, I think I run 2 of these. This isn't really a shield at all. Basically what it does is that I can double the attack points of all my Barian Chaos monsters during the either player's damage calculation. And it can be sent from the hand or deck. I believe I have 3 of these. I could be mistaken, but what he does, he's your draw power, essentially. Barian Chaos Soldier, when this guy is normal or special summoned, doesn't matter where, you can draw 1 card for every Barian Chaos monster on the field, including itself. I think that's every single monster. No. Then 2 warriors. Warrior is basically like a Stardust Dragon. It's a weaker form of Stardust. Once per turn during your player's turn, when a face-up Barian Chaos monster you control would be destroyed, either by battle or by card effect, you can send this card on your hand or field to the graveyard to negate the attack or effect, and if you do, inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent for every dark monster you can currently control. So the max you can have is 5, so that's 2,500 damage. So it's basically like, oh, what would I call it? It's basically a darker version of Poseidon Wave. Now that I've done the monsters, I'll go for the spells. And I think I have 2 of these, Barian Chaos Shadow Grip. Basically what this does, this is like a permanent you can call it mind control, change of heart, whatever you want to call it. And it ignores the effects of the Egyptian God card. So, yeah, that's kind of broken, I'm sorry. But it can be negated, though. It's not like I'm going to say, oh, it can't be negated, but it can. And then we have a 3 Barian Chaos dual summons. So basically what this card does, this is like your searcher and special summoner of the deck. You special summon it, yeah, it has Super Gemini Spark on it. I don't really care. If you guys care, then that's too bad. Basically what this does, I can special summon 2. It says you can special 2 Barian Chaos monsters from your deck. Well, that's supposed to say special summon. And then we have a field spell known as Barian Chaos Zone. Well, basically what this does, I'm just gonna read it. I should be showing it on the thing, but I don't really care. Basically what this does is that this card's effect can also be used in the graveyard. Yada yada yada. No one really cares about that. What they care about is the once per turn during the other player's turn, I can activate one of the following effects. You can special summon Barian Chaos monster from your field in defense mode. Target one Xyz monster on the field, then target one monster on your opponent's side of the field. Make the second target an Xyz material to the first target. Or 3, switch the battle positions of all monsters on the field. These effects can also be used. These effects can't be negated, so you can't use like warning on it, or you can't. Whatever card can negate spells, like you can't use. Like you can still negate its effects, like through Neo Tachyon, but you can't do it any other way. And then we have a new card for this deck, which. Yes, if anyone knows who Numeronius is, this is an Oath of Numeronius. When a negative number, which is my creation, I'm pretty sure there are others that created them, but my negative numbers are better. Or Barian Chaos Xyz monster you control is destroyed either by battle or by card effect. You can use 5 monsters in your graveyard as Xyz material for the Xyz summon of number C1000 Numeronius. This card attaches itself onto number C1000 Numeronius. This card can't be negated, nor can the summoning of number C1000 Numeronius. That is kind of OP. You can't negate it. You can't stop the summoning or whatever. It's a quick play spell. The only way to stop it permanently... Oh. Did I skip over Barian Chaos Barrier? Oh, by the way, I have 2 of those. And then I have 2 barriers. Basically what this does, I discard a... When I would take damage by battle or by card effect, you can discard 1 Barian Chaos card from your hand to the graveyard to make all damage you take become 0. So, it's basically a shield, an actual shield for once. Oh, and I forgot to... Why did I not mention Barian Chaos Wall? I think I have 3 of these. This is basically your, I'm going to stop your attacks. It's a fiend, it should be a rock, but it's a fiend. When your opponent declares a direct attack, you can special summon this card from your hand and end the battle phase. This card can't be destroyed by card effects, so it's basically, I'm going to summon this thing to the field, and you can't do a thing about it. Well, you could Psalm Warning it, but that doesn't matter. Then we have another field spell known as Barian Chaos Sanctuary. I was going to make it a continuous spell, but I decided to make it a field, so once per turn, I was going to say during either turn. Yeah, that'd be so broken. Anyway, you can activate one of the following effects. You can add 1 Barian Chaos card from your deck to your hand, special summon a Barian Chaos monster from your deck, graveyard, or your extra deck, and you special summon a Barian Chaos monster from your extra deck. Via this effect, you can attach 1 Barian Chaos monster from your hand, deck, or graveyard to the Xyz monster as an Xyz material. Gain LP equal to the number of monsters you control times 1,000. So it's basically like an Orichalcos Deuteros. In a way. Except Deuteros is, I'm going to gain 500 for every monster. I think that's it for spell cards. Now on to the traps. And then after the traps is extra deck, and then we're done with this deck profile. Let's start with 3 Chaos Illusions. Basically what this does is that if I'm going to be attacked directly, I can summon this card from my spell and track card zone in defense mode and end the battle. Then once per turn, I can summon the other 2 from my deck. Is that right? It can't be destroyed by card effects. It's a level 0 monster. Once per turn, you can special summon 1 other Chaos Illusion. Oh, the others. Well, I should say other 2. It can still be negated, though, which is kind of disappointing. I should say, like, where they can be brought out from, but I don't, so that could be from anywhere. Deck, graveyard, hand. When your opponent, and then we have 1 rank up magic, Chaos Counter Force. When your opponent's monster declares an attack on one of your monsters, negate the attack, and special summon from your extra deck, be able to graveyard 1 number monster. Then use that monster as an Xyz material for an Xyz summon for a number C monster that is 1 rank higher. Xyz materials attached to that monster also become Xyz materials onto the number C monster during the next standby phase, and discard to your deck. So, when I say number, it could be any number, essentially. Like, it could be a negative number, it could be anything. I only run one of those, because it's kind of broken, it's a counter trap. And then we have Barian Chaos Dark Curtain. I think I run 2 of these. I'm saying I think a lot. Anyway, what I was going to say is activate this card when you would take damage, either by battle or by card effect, and make the damage 0. As long as this card remains face up on the field, you take 0 damage. This card's activation can't be negated. I run 2 of those. It can still be destroyed by card effects like MST or whatever, because MST doesn't negate. And then we have 2 Wow. Anyway, I was going to say we have 2 Rebirth of Creation, so when a number is 0, the creator of Numeron is destroyed either by battle or by card effect. Special summon the number back to the field. Also, it gains all the Xyz materials it had. It says it hand. It says it means it. I meant to say it had before it was destroyed, and finally discarded becomes an Xyz material to that monster. So I'll show you. You'll see what number 0 actually is soon enough. Oh, and then we have the other 2 Chaos Illusions. Do I have other traps? Yes, I do. 2 Lightning Burst. When a card effect is activated, negate the activation and destroy it, then draw 1 card. Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous. And I think I have 1 Barian Chaos Mirror. I'll check if I have another one. I don't think I do, though. No, I do not. I have 1 of these. This is basically a mirror, a magic cylinder in a way. When you would take damage either by battle or by card effect, you can negate.
Mike,
Yeah?
your oven's ready.
Can I just finish this?
Yeah.
What was I saying? When Barian Chaos Mirror, I run 1 of these. When you would take damage either by battle or by card effect, you can negate the attack or damage and send this and then inflict it to your opponent. So it's basically, I'm gonna mirror force you. I'm gonna send all that damage that you sent at me back to you, but I can only do it when I would take damage from battle by card effect. And then we have 1 Barian Chaos Slash, which is basically your mirror force of the deck. If you control Barian Chaos monster, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Cards and effects can't be activated in response to this card's activation. During the other player's standby phase, add this card on your graveyard to your deck. So it can recycle itself. Kind of OP, because if I can activate it during either player's turn, which is, I mean, traps can do that. And I think that's the end of traps. Now that we're done with that, let's go into the broken extra deck, shall we? So I run 2 Barian Chaos Fiends, which are basically like a combination of number 92. They can't die from anything, no battle, no card effect. And it's basically, if I'm going to take damage, if I take damage, you take it too if it's from another monster other than Xyz. If it's just an Xyz monster, you take the damage instead of me. So it's like a number 90, Chaos number 96 plus number 92 in a way. And then once per turn, I can detach 1 overlay Xyz material from this card to special summon a number C monster from my extra deck, and then attach the Xyz material I detached from this to that monster, and it gets treated as the number monster. So let's just say you're going to bring out 101, I mean C101. The overlay unit I detached becomes the overlay unit onto C101 Cyan or Dark, and then the overlay unit that I attached to Cyan or Dark is treated as Cyan or Arc. So that's kind of OP. Kind of, sort of. And then we have 2 Priests, which is basically, if you've seen Revelations of the Super Recalcus, you would know what this card actually is. It's supposed to represent Mayriah's King, but this thing actually has attack. It can't die from battle. If it dies from card effect, which it can actually die from its own effect, it basically has the attack and defense of a Dark Magician. What else do I need to say about it? Well, it can once per turn detach one exceeds material to activate one of the following effects. I can target one card in the field, destroy it, or add one, or draw one card, or add one card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Now, and like I remember what I said, if it dies from a card effect, I can bring out my most powerful monster of this deck. Well, one of the most powerful, the Zero God, which I got the idea from Larfanox. So thank Anthony M for making me come up with that. I'm not copying him or anything. I'm not trying to. It's just that I want to have a Zero God of my own. So basically what the Zero God does is that when it succeeds someone via the effect of Priest, I blow up the entire field on your field. Not my field. My field stays. It blows up the opponent's field, and then you're wide open for 5,000 damage. Now,
Yeah, I mean, I would think that's kind of...
I can, since it only has one Xyz material, if you have an Xyz monster, I can detach one Xyz material to target your Xyz monster, and then attach your Xyz material plus its overlay units onto my monster, so I keep gaining overlay units. And if it does get destroyed, either by battle or by card effect, you take 500 points of damage for every card on the field. Doesn't matter where it is. And then we have 2 Creator of Numeron, which is my number 0. And yes, it's the only light fairy in this deck. And it's basically once per turn, I can attach one Xyz monster from my extra deck to this monster, and then it gains 1,000 attack for every Xyz material, so you can keep gaining overlay units over time until you get to the point where you have plenty of overlay units where you could finish your opponent off. I'm not going to say what its other effect is, but you'll see. And then I have a Chaos number 0, which is a Dark Fiend, which is a rank 1 Xyz monster. Yeah, rank 0, now rank 1. What next? This has the same effects, but it can't... If number 0 to Creator of Numeron is an Xyz material onto this monster, it gains the effect... This card can't be destroyed, or be banished, or be targeted by a card effect. So it can't die from battle, it can't die from card effects, and it can't be banished. The only way to stop that is by negating its effect with like Skill Drain or whatever. And then we have, of course, Numeronius. And this is the anime card, but I know its effect. And then we have the Imaginary. So Imaginary, basically it's my instant win condition if I ever get into a tight spot. And I'm using the anime effect, not the actual effect from like Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro or whatever, where you have to have no Xyz materials on the frickin' Numeronius in order to use its effect. Anyway, that's the end of that. If you have questions, just leave comments into the comment section below. And I apologize for not uploading much at all, mostly because of the stinking tripod. But we'll get into this deck after I put my food in. Alright. So 713 sign out.